Cardano ADA is at war on this weekly chart as well as the daily chart, even right now. And I wanted to do a video, kind of a price analysis video for ADA. It's been a minute since I've done a Cardano video, so definitely going to dive into the price and kind of what to look for right now at this very, very critical area. But I also wanted to cover the news in terms of Cardano today. The SEC has extended the review period for the Grayscale Cardano ADA ETF by 45 days. I want to talk about what that means before we really dive into the charts. You're going to be surprised to see, or at least to learn, this very important context when it comes to something like an Ethereum ETF and really what this means for Cardano. So hit the subscribe and like on the way in. I want to start with this. This is very random, but important. And I need to start this in a lot of my videos now. Inflation is down because this is everything in terms of the altcoin bull market we've not had yet. And we're kind of just wondering, are we going to get it? Inflation down, gas prices down, egg prices are down. America, is this what you voted for? It's what I voted for. I will just say that. But we've been waiting for these things to happen. This big one, inflation being down. And if you look at Trueflation charts, on-chain metrics, it's down even more. The pivot is coming, in my view. And we're looking at basically the balance sheet, the Fed balance sheet. It's expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. We've been in this contraction kind of mode. And this is why really we've not seen altcoin season. We're waiting for that expansion. We're waiting for interest rates to start coming down. And it's truly starting to look like Trump is going to get what he wants. And this is what we've been talking about in the US dollar charts. Remember, last cycle or last administration, 2 cycles ago, Trump was saying dollar's too strong. And what happened? Boom, got what he wanted. Trump saying interest rates too high. What happened? Well, so far, interest rates that we've not gotten the pivot yet, and there might still be some short-term pain, especially if the Fed doesn't do what everybody wants it to do and just lower interest rates right away. There could be some short-term pain there, but you can just see how this is playing out, right? So when we're starting to dissect charts like Cardano and altcoin markets in general, and even Bitcoin, and we're as well looking at all of the bullish confluence and the fundamentals like we've never had in any cycle. There's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of bears in the comments, mostly bears in the comments, it seems. They're not paying attention. I know most of you are paying attention. I know the majority of you out there are looking at this, and you're seeing this data very clearly come together, and you're like, man, I will be patient. I will wait. It's looking like we're about to get a very nice pivot and ultimately expansion, right? Maybe not expansion like this in 2020 with COVID and everything, but a pivot here that plays heavily into the ADA charts that we're about to look at. And that's what I want to talk about. ETF delayed, new deadline by which it should be approved, denied, or see further proceedings, May 29th. May 29th. So they posted this. There's no need to panic. And I agree. The ETF wasn't expected to be accepted by the first deadline. Delays on crypto ETFs are very common to evaluate all the details. And I went to Grok. I was like, what's up with the delays? Actually, I didn't know off the top of my head. Obviously, we do see delays with the ETFs. And this is what Grok said. More recently, as of March 11th, yesterday, the SEC delayed decisions on over 60 crypto ETF applications, including spot ETFs for altcoins like Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Litecoin, with updates deferred until at least April 4th. And then this. In summary, crypto ETF delays have occurred frequently, likely dozens of times since 2013, averaging several per year when factoring peak periods of Bitcoin ETF filings, and obviously the newer wave of altcoin ETFs. So this is normal. And one thing I want to talk about in terms of Ethereum is this. I want to point this to your attention. When it comes to the ETF, it's bullish. For the macro, even for Ethereum, as ugly as this chart is, the ETFs are going to play into supply shock factors. They're going to play into demand factors when liquidity just comes flowing into crypto. They're good. But let's not rely on an ETF like this is it. This is the moment. Get the ETF approved. It's up only. Game on. Next level. ETH had its ETF approved in May 2024. And that was like the ultimate swing high. Obviously, we tested it again back here in December 2024. That was the ultimate swing high. And ETH is down around 50% from the ETF approval. So there are other factors in play, and that's why I wanted to really talk about kind of the macroeconomic factors. Without going too in depth, we are going to have a dashboard that goes in depth with all the data points, on-chain metric, all this stuff. And I'm so excited about this platform that we're building right now. But just know that as we're starting to do analysis like on ADA charts on the short term, this is important to keep in mind, the macroeconomic and really what is happening from the monetary cycle standpoint. So wanted to mention that. And now here we are on the charts. What's the war? Couple things on the weekly, and we'll get a glance on the daily. But for me, a very important area has been, and all back here when we were in the bull market doors, and we're not in the bull market doors right now. We are literally grappling with it. The doors isn't just the rectangle. The upper end of the bull market doors doesn't change. It is right around $1.25. It's this last swing high going into the bear market. If you watch my analysis, you know that's it. That's the breakout moment that we're waiting for. And maybe that comes when we get the pivot, when we get a shift, the end of quantitative tightening. Maybe by that time, I don't know, maybe ADA goes lower, and then by that time we're testing again, then we're getting a bull market for ADA. Maybe. No guarantees, but maybe that's speculative. You can see what happened last cycle when it broke out. Put that aside, the bottom of the bull market doors, 200-week moving average. So that can move, and you can see it's actually moving. It's shifting down a little bit. And right now, ADA is testing literally that 200-week moving average right here, 73 to 74 cents. The resistance that I see right now even does not surprise me. And you can kind of get a glance of what it looks like on the daily chart. It's just, I don't know what's going to happen on the daily, but actually even on the short term, this is a very important moment. I want to see ADA get above that 200-week moving average and close above that area. I want to see weekly candles above that because at that moment, we're back within the bull market doors. Consolidation, between the upper end and the lower end of the bull market doors is fine with me. Put that aside. I want to say this. If we go to last cycle, the similarities on the charts are incredible. We've tracked the structure similarities, right? And you can just see that right here. But even the consolidation in this moment that ADA is within right now, between the 50 and the 20, the green line up here and the blue line here is exactly what ADA did in this move last cycle. And you can see it was basically months of consolidation and bouncing around between those areas. So the question is, will that hold? And I don't know. Again, there are things in play. I think on the macro, things are looking very bullish. I really just think they are in terms of crypto. But on the short term, if the market doesn't get what it wants from the Fed in the very short term, we can easily see the volatility of crypto continue to the downside, right? ADA might have to test the 50s, even lower than the 50s. Test the 50-week moving average again around 59 cents. I don't know. I'm trying to lay out the macro right now on these charts, but you go back to the daily, you can just see the volatility that we have had already and that we'll likely see more of. There's just a ton. But on the short term, besides that 200-week moving average, I just want to point out some areas. The 20-day moving average is around 78 cents. The 50-day moving average is around 80 cents. If ADA can get back above those areas, now we really do have a shot for ADA to test the upper end of these bull market doors again, because that's really what this is. That's really what this move is. It's kind of flipping this entire consolidation that ADA has been in since the swing high in December. It's flipping it back to the upside. And that is best illustrated by bullish confirmation closes above the 20 and the 50. That is just that reversal that we are looking for. If that happens, we have some other videos to do in terms of Cardano analysis. In terms of Cardano analysis, I wanted to throw this out there, everybody. We launched Agent Zero in Discord. You can go there right now. Click the link. Get into our Discord. It's actually getting fun. Somebody actually asked Zero, "Can you do technical analysis?" I put no way. I didn't think it could do technical analysis yet. It's being trained right now. Agent Zero is being trained. It has a ton of data that we have to feed it still. It's just beginning the journey. But the member in our Discord uploaded an ADA chart, and Agent Zero literally did technical analysis on the chart and went on to do technical analysis. You can see people just joking around. Dan just lost his job. I said, I'm looking for the off button now. It's just, I didn't expect that, but we're having some fun in there, everybody. I'm very excited about it. So please join the Discord. Myself and the team have some really fun things coming, really useful tools coming that I think are going to be just such good timing for this cycle. So you can literally go over there and you can just chat with Agent Zero. And you can see people over there right now talking to Zero. But that's it. Let's see what ADA does. Trying right now even to test a 200-week moving average. Let's see if it can manage to even get above it a little bit this week. There's still 3 days, 22 hours. How will the candle close? Let's just monitor and see. And ultimately, does it close below the 20 and above the 50 to kind of mimic what happened last cycle at this moment? So let me know your thoughts in the comments, everybody. I appreciate you. I really do. You silent majority out there. You really make it easier for me to keep these videos coming, even with that negative sentiment that's out there. But it is out there. But that's a very telling sign of where we are in the cycle. So hit the subscribe, hit the like, turn notifications on. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.